right. We are live. We are live, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
Hey.
And I have a special treat today because I have my mentor on the show today. This is a once in a lifetime thrill of mine. Matt McWilliams, what's going on, man? Are you
What's
ready
up,
for
buddy?
this?
I am as ready as I will ever be.
Awesome. So he is here to tell us or show us how to monetize our platforms, even if we don't have anything to sell whatsoever. Is that right, Matt?
I am, man. I'm excited about this.
Okay, well, we shall see. We shall see on this latest episode of The Authority Project.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, feast your eyes and tune your ears. It's that time again. We are live with another episode of The Authority Project. It's the video podcast streamed on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Periscope, where we talk to digital marketers, business coaches, and creators of all kinds on how they've built authority in their field and how you can mimic their success. Developing authority, building your audience, and attracting better clients to your own business. Now, without further ado, let's bring to the virtual stage your host, Brian S. Arnold.
All right, we are here. This is Brian S. Arnold on The Authority Project. And you are here on my virtual stage and my digital stage and my online stage and my audio space stage as well. And we're just going to have some fun today. I got my mentor here, Matt McWilliams. He's in the hot seat finally for me. So this is going to be great. I got many questions for you. The first question I have for you is this. Where were you October 31st, the night of October 31st?
Of this year?
I'm just kidding.
I can tell you exactly where I was. It was a gorgeous night, and we went trick-or-treating.
Awesome.
That's exactly what we were doing. Oddly enough, I mean, and I think I have my theories about this, but oddly enough, it was probably the best night of trick-or-treating we've had
really
since I was a kid. More people were giving out candy. I'll put it this way: by the end of the night, I had to carry our son's bag and he was stuffing his pockets.
Wow!
Because it was overflowing, and this was a big bag too.
Wow.
It was overflowing, and I have my theories about why, but it was an epic night. So
that's incredible.
Fun. Yeah,
I can't say the same. Mine was pretty dull. It was one of the worst Halloweens for me.
Sorry, I'll rub it in. Let me tell you more about how often it was, actually. Yeah.
So we are here though to get down to business here. He's going to show us how to monetize your platform, even if you don't have something to sell. And this is his expertise. I know he's going to crush it today. So please pay attention. But before we even get started, please, Matt, tell us who you are personally and then professionally.
Yeah. So I'm 41 years old. I'll start there.
Yeah.
Only because, oh my gosh, like I plan on living past the life expectancy, but statistically I'm halfway there. Like it's kind of crazy to think about, like when only 20 years ago, I thought 40 was so old and I'm there. And it's amazing how that works. I got into this digital marketing world back in 2002, doing golf schools. I worked with my dad. We hosted these golf schools, throughout the year in Pinehurst, North Carolina. And I discovered this website called Google, and you could give Google 10 cents to get a click.
Right.
And this is 2002. So this is totally not what we teach today. Today we talk about building an email list. You build a list that you own. And when people come to your website, you can't just ask them for money right away. On the front end, you got to build build authority, right? And build a rapport with them. Right. Well, back in 2002, none of that existed. I didn't know any better. So you came to my site and you did one of two things. There's only two options. You gave me $2,000 or you left. Now, the good thing was I was spending 10 cents a click. I converted roughly 1 out of every 200 people into a paying customer.
Wow.
You can do the math. $20 to acquire a $2,000 customer. Basically, we didn't even count marketing. Like it wasn't even an expense for us. Wow. It was so cheap. Yeah. But the beauty of it was, I remember we still had, with this time with the shopping cart that we used, I don't even remember what it was called back then, but it had a desktop app. I think I was still on Windows 98.
Okay.
maybe ME. I was really
All right.
advanced, if you remember that. And but it would make a ding every time I had a sale. And Brian, I
Yeah.
remember sitting there one Saturday afternoon. I was watching. Please don't judge me. I was watching an Ally McBeal marathon
Oh, lovely.
with my mom. I still lived with my mom. We're
Okay.
bringing in. I was making a lot of money, more
Yeah.
than I knew what to do with at that time. Living with my mom, and I remember we're sitting there watching just episode after episode of Ally McBeal on FX, and I would hear ding, like 10:30 in the morning,
Wow.
about 12:30 in the afternoon, ding, 2 o'clock, ding, 5 o'clock, ding. I don't know, 7 o'clock, ding, 5 dings, $2,000 a pop
Yeah.
on a Saturday that I didn't leave the house and watched Ally McBeal all day. And it hit me. I'm like, I'm splitting that with my dad. So I made $5,000,
Wow.
spent maybe 100,
Mm.
and I'm going, doing the quick math. I'm 22 years old at the time. I'm like, I kind of like had to pinch myself. I'm like, I make more than the average American. I made more than the average American makes in a month, in a day, watching Ally
Right.
McBeal. Maybe there's something to this internet thing.
Right.
And 18 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the reason I bring that up from a personal angle is that moment in time and that whole thing kind of dictated who I was going to be as a person, not just in business, because I realized this is what I wanted from a lifestyle standpoint. You fast forward now, I've been married for 11 years. My beautiful wife, Tara, we have two absolutely amazing kids, 9-year-old and a 5-year-old. And one of the best moments in my life, this will sound almost weird. One of the best moments in my whole life was when our son was about a year and a half old. And I made him feel awful for like an entire week. And how I did that was my office used to be upstairs and it was in this room, no doors. But when he would sit and eat, where he still is still where he sits today for most of his meals.
Yeah.
And if he turned like this, he could see through a gap about that wide between the way the wall comes out and the other wall, and he could see me. And we could connect for his first year and a half of life every day, no matter what I was doing. I could be on a call. I could be doing this right now.
Yeah.
I could be whatever.
Right.
I could be typing. I could look over and we could connect every single day.
Nice.
What made him cry for a week, all I did was move down to the basement. I still work from home. I still get to go. Yesterday and today, I get to play with our puppy in the middle of the day. I get to go out and hang out with the kids and eat with them and just have fun and talk throughout the day with my family. All I did was move to the basement. But that's how much, like, he's never known daddy to work outside the house. Yeah. Our daughter, Araceli, I used to have, even though I've been, self-employed for as long as I can remember, I had an office across town that I go to, 20 hours a week, 25 hours a week. Okay. So she was a little bit used to, for the first year or so of her life, 2 years of her life, of me working somewhere else. But he's never known me to work anywhere else. And by the way, hey, Mary. Just saw Mary's comment. Hey to her, my friend Mary. So that's a little bit about me personally and kind of how it intersects with me professionally.
Awesome. I love that story. It's just the benefits of freedom, right? Freedom of schedule.
Yeah.
Freedom of lifestyle.
I think I talk about that a lot.
Yeah.
Freedom. Freedom doesn't necessarily mean that you never have to do anything you don't want to do.
Right.
I don't like doing tax projections for our CPA. I don't like having to tell him, here's how much we spend on marketing. Here's how much we spend on, stuff that we spend money on. And I don't like having to run those numbers to give them to him because it's not my jam. It's boring. Right. Freedom doesn't mean that I never work at night or never work on a weekend.
Yeah. What
freedom means 99% of the time. So tax projections and, a couple of other things. Like I don't like having to reprimand a team member or fire someone. I don't particularly like having to hire someone either. Like I'm getting anything done.
Right.
That's not what I mean. I do sometimes work on nights and weekends. It's rare now, but I do. and it's when I choose to.
Yeah.
I make the conscious decision that it's an absolutely gorgeous day right now. We had this scheduled. If this had not been something like a live stream, Brian, I got to be honest, I would have asked to reschedule. It is 73 degrees in November in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Yeah.
And you know what? I want to go outside.
Yeah.
So yesterday I rescheduled stuff.
Okay.
And I spent time outside that, I chose to do. What did that mean? It meant that night I had to put in about an hour. There were some things I still had to get done,
right,
for our company, but I chose to do them at night rather than during the day because I have that freedom. And that's,
your choice.
Nobody's telling me I have to be anywhere. I do not have to stand at that desk that you can't see, but I do not have to stand there from 8:30 to 5:30 and do my work. I can work weird hours if I want to.
Amazing. It's great stuff, man. I love it. I like my camera now. It's right in the middle of bad sunlight. So if people see the red ring, is because
you have a
because you know what, because
yeah.
I'm at 2:00 and I'm usually at 4. So this is an early show. So
yeah, when you hold your hand up, it blocks it though. Yeah,
right.
Like,
well, whatever. But we're good.
Do you remember growing up? Do you remember growing up with like an antenna? A TV antenna, and you had the Fox position and the NBC position.
Right.
And like, I remember with this one TV we had, it was in the bonus room in our house. I lived in with my mom. And in the one position, you couldn't sit in the recliner and watch. I think it was like the precursor to the WB. It was like whatever that I cannot remember what the station was called.
Right.
Maybe somebody can help me out, but it was like CW, then the WB before that. And there was some other, it was like channel 55,
right.
On UHF or whatever.
Right.
You could not sit in the recliner and watch it. You had to move. You had to be over here.
Right.
To be able to watch that channel.
Right.
And I remember specifically like being there was a football game a football game that was on that channel, because that was the channel that had the like ACC football and basketball on. Raycom was the name of the network. Now I remembered it.
Okay.
And I started like cheering and I was like jumping up and down. And then I ran over, and then all I know is when I got back, like I accidentally got in the position and it lost signal for like 8 seconds. And then I come back and the other team has the ball.
Right.
And I'm like, but what happened?
Right.
I never found out. I never found out what actually happened on that play.
Well, thank goodness for DVRs now, and it's a godsend.
You're in the 2:00 position right now.
Right. Exactly. So let's go on with what is the current project that you're working on now? What's your current project?
So actually, literally, when I get off with you, and you know me well enough now, Brian. When we were on our mastermind calls, like I'm usually wearing kind of the same thing you are, wearing like a t-shirt, and but I'm not today. I'm actually wearing a dress shirt and jeans and flip flops. But I'm actually doing, because as soon as we get off, we're re-recording our flagship course called No Product, No Problem.
Nice.
And so we got we're calling it the 2020 version.
Okay.
Actually, 2021 version. It'll release next year. There's some people that have early access to it, but
nice.
So No Product, No Problem 2021 will be out. It's kind of cool. The process through which we've created the course it's the first time where I wasn't the one doing everything. I'll be the talent. I will read what's on the screen. I will record the videos and I'll record everything else. But the slides were created by my team. The scripts were created by my team and reviewed by me. Okay. The outline was a collaboration between us, and I had some input, but still wasn't just me. And it's been really cool just not having, because I remember like the first version of the course took me personally more than 150 hours.
Wow.
Of just everything, putting it in. It was exhausting. This one will take me about 8 hours, which is a whole heck of a lot better. And so as soon as we get off, I'm going to record all the direct to camera stuff and get that done. And then I'll record the slides on Monday and Tuesday. And of course will be done next week, which is kind of cool. That's my big thing right now.
Awesome. So a little bit of not what we're talking about today, about creating stuff. So let's
Yeah. I'll talk about whatever.
yeah, yeah. What is let's quickly tell us what your daily routine is, then we'll dive in. What's your daily routine?
I don't have one.
Yeah.
To a certain extent. And
Yeah.
my routine is that I don't have one. What I do have is I have, I got this from Michael Hyatt. I have an ideal week.
Okay.
And I have an ideal week, and within each day there are protected times for routine.
Okay.
And so I'll take you through, today is a very typical Friday. It's a very typical Friday. It's also a very typical Tuesday, in that I do a lot of this in the afternoon.
Okay.
So if you look at my calendar, about 35 hours out of the week are broken down into 3.5 hour chunks. There's about 10, I think there's like 10 or 11, chunks throughout the week. Those will look like writing time. So if I need to write, whatever that may be, it could be email copy, sales page copy, scripts for courses. That's my time. I usually have 2 of those in a given week. I usually have 3 studio times. So that's podcast interviews, summit interviews, recording courses, recording, bonus things, recording content, podcasts, like actually recording podcasts for my podcast. And I try to batch all of that. So sometimes it looks different. Sometimes it's, okay, I'm going to record 8 podcasts. I've got 3 hours and nothing else scheduled. I'm recording 3 podcasts. Sometimes, like today, it'll literally be, interview, record course, another interview, record course.
Right.
But I'm going to be right here with this exact setup, talking to that exact thing for the next 3.5 to 4 hours. And that's blocked off. I've got, time for, on there for meetings, for team meetings. I've got time on there for relationships, external relationships, our affiliate partners, business, acquisition type stuff is in there. That's on there. And then I've got, I've got like things like my workout time. That's blocked off. When I eat is blocked off. Those are my sacred times. So, I mean, it sounds like I don't have a routine. Actually, quite frankly, I do.
Yeah.
It's all calendar. When you think of it, it's like, I just kind of do, like I do what the calendar says. I joke. I'm like, I don't know that I would remember to shave and shower or dress if it wasn't in, like, it's on my calendar.
Yeah.
It says, get ready. When do I get ready? When the calendar says.
Yeah.
When do I eat breakfast? When the calendar says. So as far as like other sides, I wake up, I'm not an early riser. So I usually wake up about 6:45. First 15 minutes are dog and bodily functions. That's my first 15 minutes every day. Like we both got to do our thing. Right. And he wants to eat. So we get that done. And then from there, I make the coffee and do a quick, it's not my workout for the day, but I just do a quick, just get the blood flowing, do some stretches, kind of, like I want to feel like I'm limber and oiled up like the Tin Man, especially as I get older. That part of my routine, it used to be like 7 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was like 10. That part of my routine is about 15 minutes now.
Okay. That's good.
And it's just a lot of, stretching and movement and, what the term that my trainer used to call it, it's dynamic mobility is what he calls it.
Okay.
So it's, it's a lot of like, it's not really like stretch and hold. It's just a lot of stuff. So now I feel good. About 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
And this varies. It really is honestly dependent upon when our son wakes up, because he's always the first one.
Okay.
If he wakes up after 8, I'm in the clear. If he wakes up before 8, you know what? It's an opportunity to spend time with him. So we spend some time together. That's when I go down that first, I never have meetings before 11. That first 3 hours is it's all creative stuff. That's when I'm going to be my most creative. That's when I need to do my thinking, my writing, my creation. If I get anything done, so I do that for 3 hours, workout. It's funny. It says breakfast. I eat breakfast at noon. That's when I eat breakfast at noon. Usually have like a call. I'll go for a walk. I don't get ready until 1 usually.
Okay.
And then I do, whatever I'm doing. If I get anything done after 1 o'clock, 1:30.
Yeah.
If I accomplish anything, it's a bonus because I've accomplished so much between 8 and 11 that it's not even funny. And so, yeah, I guess I have more of a routine than I give myself
Okay.
credit for.
Now that you spoke it out into existence.
Yeah. I guess again, there's always the, like, you know, with 2 kids, it's like I said, if Giovanni wakes up at 7:42,
as long as you're obeying the calendar, which is what you're doing.
all bets are off. So 8 becomes 8:30, you know, when Giovanni's up, because he only does it once a week. I'm not going to pass up that opportunity to do something that it's just, I mean, it's literally, it's the 2 of us and our dog in the quiet of our, you know, for 45 minutes. Like, you talk about sacred time. Like, that's, I mean, some of the stuff we've done in those 45 minutes, you know, I got to feed him and, you know, do all that. But like, we just had we've had some like amazing 20, 25 minutes in the morning, just building train tracks or something.
Yeah.
You know?
So I love that. I love that you're adhering to your schedule. Something that most people are maybe might have a challenge with. So that's great to see somebody who is, you know, like I said, you know.
Let me tell you on that. Let me say something on that.
Yeah.
It's making it non-negotiable.
Okay.
I mean, stuff comes up. I mean, I have to reschedule meetings, and a lot of times if we have to reschedule a meeting, it means that now that meeting, which should be in the meeting block, but it needs to happen this week, ends up in the studio time block.
Okay.
And it's called an ideal week. It's not the every single week is exactly like this. Well, we stick to it probably 3 out of 4 weeks.
Yeah.
That meeting has to move to a time when I don't really want to do it, because it's like, it's hard. It's hard to go from, all right, I'm going to be creative. I'm going to record 2 podcasts, then have a client call, then record 2 more podcasts. That's, you know, it's hard on my brain, to be honest.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's non-negotiable, unless, you know, again, if something comes up, and we've tried as a company to make this happen less. If something comes up and, you know, for some reason our server company went out of business and just turned off our website tomorrow. Well, my ideal week's going out the window that day.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I would have, no offense, I would have canceled this. Why? Because I don't have a server.
Yeah.
You know, like, hey, I want everybody to go to mattmcwilliams.com/quick start. Well, it doesn't exist because my server's down.
Right.
You know, there are times.
Yeah, that's what happened to me yesterday. Yesterday was supposed to be my batch day, and I went to get my brakes and rotors done, and I thought it was gonna be like a few hours. You know, I was there from 8:30. I didn't leave until 4:00.
Whoa!
The whole day's shot. Yeah, so
that's crazy, man.
Yeah, so whole day is shot. So that's what those things happen. But anyway, let's things happen. Adjust.
Yep.
So let's dive into this subject here. But before we get deep into it, I want to ask you this first question: when is it time to even think about monetizing your platform?
Day 1.
Okay.
Day 1. Actually, day 0.
Okay.
If you're launching your blog next Wednesday, start thinking about how you're going to monetize it now. I just will tell you, like, the biggest mistake I see in people is that they don't monetize soon enough. See, I was told, so when I started my blog in 2012, and I knew all the stuff, like all the stuff I teach now about affiliate marketing, monetizing, I already knew it. I knew it in my head, but then I heard, oh, when you start a blog, you should just give away content for 6 months. You should just create and build rapport and build rapport and build rapport and give. The problem with give, and you never ask, or just give, ask, you know, Gary Vaynerchuk, I'm on his text messages, you know, and just got a text. So this is why I was thinking about this. You know, he wrote a book called Jab, 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 Right Hook. Think of that as give, ask. Well, if you never do the ask, then you've conditioned your audience to just expect free content indefinitely. That's not a business. That's an expensive hobby.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care if you are on the cheapest hosting in the world, you still have expenses of some sort. You're still expending some amount of money for your blog. You're buying a premium plugin. You're buying, you know, you have a social media manager, you know, you pay for Hootsuite or Meet Edgar. You're paying for your time. Your time is worth something, even if, okay, you work for literally, I don't know what's minimum wage, $7.50, $8 an hour now in most places. So let's just call it $8. Okay. So if you make minimum wage and you go spend 2 hours writing a blog post, you just paid $16. You lost $16. You could have gone to a job at minimum wage and made more money than you made writing your blog post. So what's the answer then? Like, what do we do if okay, I can't just give because it sets people up the wrong way. You're conditioning them. Our friend Mark Sieverkrop that used to work for us, you know, Mark, I'll never forget when he said, we're on some sort of a live stream and he goes, one way or another, you're conditioning your audience. The question is, what are you conditioning them to do? So are you conditioning them to open your emails, read it and go, well, that was great content. I feel better. Thank you, Brian. That was great. And then nothing.
Yeah.
Are you conditioning them to open the email, get a little teaser and go, I got to click on that to get more. I'm going to click on it. Are you conditioning them to periodically can be a little loose. I recommend roughly every 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Are they going to expect some sort of an offer to be made?
Yeah.
Because what happens is when we give for 6 months and then we say, oh, I have something for sale. They're like, how dare you? They send you nasty emails, nasty tweets going, I can't believe you tried to sell me something. What are you trying to make this into a business? I thought this was just the free love club, man. Like, no, that's not what we want. So we want to condition them from day one. And so one of the things that we talk about, so again, it starts before you even plan, like, well, what are some of the little things you can do? So it can be as simple as when you're starting out that you reference a book. And when you link to it, it's your Amazon link. You know how much money you're going to make? Not much, 35 cents. Yeah. But you have conditioned your audience subconsciously that when I read his content and I click over to a link, there might be a transaction involved. I might have to pull out my credit card, my debit card, and pay something. Okay, so then later on, it's a little bit more in your face, I guess would be the phrase. It's a little bit more intentional. You recommend a product. You send an email about a tool that you discovered that really helps you in your whatever, in your business, in your hobby. You know, if you're writing a blog about your hobby, but it's your business, so your hobby is gardening, then tell them about the trowel. Tell them about the new soil that you bought, made by Scott's, and use an affiliate link.
Okay.
The reason we start with affiliate stuff is very simple. When you first start creating content, Brian, you know this. When you first start blogging, you first start podcasting, you don't know what the heck your audience wants.
Right.
You don't know what they'll pay. So here's what happens. In physical world, I've got a shelf over here full of crap that I created that my audience didn't want to buy. I keep it there as a reminder that that's a really stupid way to do it.
Wow. Yeah.
So you go create this product and you know how it is. Like, we're creators, right? I poured my heart and soul. I spent 17 hours picking the logo. Right? That's not an exaggeration. I spent 17 hours picking the logo. I created it. I made sure that everything is right. 2 people bought it.
Yeah.
I bought 100. What do I do with the other 98? Honey, remember how we used to have a third bathroom? We don't anymore. Hey, remember how we could park both cars in the garage? Yeah, we can't anymore. Like, that's what happened. Remember how you used to be able to walk through the breezeway and not have to turn this way to get through? Well, you have to now because there's boxes everywhere of stuff that I created but can't sell. Yeah. So what do? Yeah. We use affiliate marketing to go out and say, okay, I'm going to look around. I'm going to do, so I have an audience of people who want to do videos. Well, what kind of videos do they want to record? Is it selfie videos? Do they need a stick like that? Or do they need more of a sturdy tripod because they're using a real, a $2,000 camera that weighs like 800 pounds and you can land the space shuttle on it? Do they need a tripod like that? Do they need a cheaper tripod? What kind of lighting kits do they need? So you do these as, promoting affiliate products, and you learn that they really like the more handheld kind. So then you go out and do the research about what kind of that could you create? That specific thing could you create? If you're talking about courses, you're in the productivity niche. Well, what the heck is productivity? It's like 18 things rolled up into one niche, right? It's time management, it's leadership, it's health and fitness, it's it's focus, it's all these things, right? It's
Yeah.
all like, it's sleep,
Yep.
it's
Sleep.
all these
Yep.
things. What is your audience going to pay money for? So you go out and go, I'm going to teach a course on the health and fitness side of productivity. Nobody
Okay.
buys it.
Right.
Well, you could have discovered that if you'd gone out and promoted a health and fitness product
Okay.
and went, nobody bought that. But so I promote, let's just go on a very micro level. I'm going to promote the time management course and the health and fitness course. Similar price points, similar thing, good marketing, blah, blah, blah. 82 people buy the time management thing. 5 people buy the health and fitness thing. What does that tell me? Number one, don't create a health and fitness product. They ain't going to buy it. Number two,
Right.
you should probably stop even talking about it. You don't have enough people in your audience who are interested in creating a financial transaction where you're running a business, not a hobby. So you don't have enough people in your audience who are that interested in that subject matter. And so why even create it? And just to
Yeah.
wrap that all up, we hear a lot about surveys. Surveys are great. Surveys are
Yeah. I
a
was
good
about to
way
ask
to
you that.
find out,
Yeah. Yeah.
but nothing surveys your audience like an actual financial transaction.
Okay.
Go survey me sometime and say, hey, what do you actually want? Well, I want to know this. I want to know that. I want to know. And then you go look at my bookshelf, and I haven't bought any books about topic C. Maybe
Yeah.
it's because that subject isn't something I can see a clear ROI on.
Yeah.
And so it's different. So just because somebody says in a survey, oh yeah, I really want to buy something that'll make me a better such and such, doesn't mean they actually will buy it. But you can learn that by affiliate marketing. So it's a great way to learn what your audience actually wants to buy and monetize without having a product and not having any of the risk of creating a product. And you don't have to spend 17 hours creating that logo.
What you just said, I've never heard before. I gotta be honest, because what you're saying is surveys are great. Don't get us wrong. Surveys are great, but what you're doing when you're saying go out here and test your audience by seeing if they'll buy this, seeing if they'll buy that, and then from your evaluation of what happens, whatever they buy more, that's what you should be leaning towards. And what you really have in all this is another list of buyers all in itself, which I know you haven't dived into really, but you have now this segment of actual buyers.
Yep.
So what happened? So I'm going to scrap my question. One of my questions here. So because you already scrapped
that, though, Brian. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Oh, but they bought that affiliate thing that I recommended. Will they buy my thing? First of all, they're not the last people.
Okay.
They're not the last people you're going to get. Second of all, how else are you going to learn? Because going back to the productivity thing, there's 17 conceivable directions you could go. Which of those 17 are you going to pick first? So no, you go all 17 directions, find out the 3, focus on those 3. The other thing I would say is this. Dan Kennedy famously said, a buyer is a buyer is a buyer.
Yeah.
Well, it's like saying an orange is an orange is an orange. I mean, yeah. No. What he means is a buyer buys things.
Yeah.
My friend Ron Friedman, he's like a productivity, but he's like a business psychologist. I forget the exact term that he is, like a social psychologist for businesses.
Yeah.
I'll never forget what he said to me on speaking of productivity, on a call one day. He was a client of ours and I was talking to him and he said, people who buy productivity courses buy productivity courses. Well, that's the most obvious statement of the century. What is he saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Go find somebody who has a single weight loss book or course. Just go find somebody who's over the age of 30 who has one of them. Who has one weight loss book or course? Nobody. Everybody who has one has 4. They have 7.
Okay. I'm trying to see where you're going. Right.
Nobody has one.
Right.
They just doesn't even exist. So you go, but if I promote this fitness thing, they won't buy my thing. Really? The overwhelming majority of people who own P90X own at least 2 other workout programs. The overwhelming majority of people who have tried a keto diet, for example, have tried at least 2 other diets.
Right.
That's just like, and they bought the books. If you have a chronic pain, really, you buy the one book and go, oh, unless that works for you, No,
Yeah.
if that works for you, then you're good.
Right.
Most people who have chronic pain, you go look at their bookshelf, they have 4 books about that specific pain.
Absolutely.
If their family has a history of kidney problems, they have 4 books about kidney problems.
Right.
So thinking, but if I promote this thing, they'll never buy it from me. First of all, they will, because it's yours.
Yeah. Yeah.
They bought the time management course from a 62-year-old woman. You're a 38-year-old man.
Right.
You're teaching it from a different perspective. They're still on your list a year and a half later, and you mean to tell me they're not going to buy your time management course? No, they will, because people who buy time management courses buy time management courses.
Yeah.
Because if maybe that course helped them go from working 52 hours a week to 48, you can help them go from 48 to 44. You mean to tell me they're not going to pay you $500 for 4 hours a week?
Right.
So don't have that scarcity mindset on this stuff. Sorry, I don't know. You said something that got me going down that road.
You're doing great. I love it. So here's the question that pops up now. We love that step. How do we find, though, great products to sell?
Yeah. I mentioned it earlier, actually, the URL.
Okay.
If you go to mattmcwilliams.com/quick start,
Okay.
I've got a guide, Brian, I'll say a lot of what's in it, but it'll walk you through everything: how to find affiliate programs, how to make sure you get accepted, what to do if you get declined by an affiliate program. We actually literally have email scripts in there. If you get declined, copy and paste this email, tweak it a little bit, send it to the affiliate manager. We have about a 90% success rate in overturning declines and getting approved.
Wow.
As far as finding affiliate programs, it's super simple. I walk you through in the guide, but it really is at its simplest. You know your niche. You know the people in your niche. If you're in a niche like time management, you can name 25 other people in the time management space. If you can't, you need to know them anyway, and you need to be on their lists.
Okay.
You need to follow them on social media. Call it spying, competitive intelligence. I don't care what you call it. I call it studying. I follow all the people. I probably follow about 125 other marketers and another 100 people that aren't even marketers, but they do marketing.
Yeah.
Why? I want to learn what they're doing.
Yeah.
I just yesterday, I saw a subject line that floored me and went, swipe file. That's going to go in my swipe file. I want to learn, what do they do? What do they send that makes me angry? And what do they send that makes me cringe? What do they do that makes me go, I'm never going to do that? Yeah. What new social media platform are they on that I didn't even hear about? That's kind of interesting. What are those things? I want to be seeing those things. I want to be studying those things. But above and beyond that, you want to know, hey, do they have an affiliate program?
Right.
Do they have an affiliate program that I can join and I can promote something of theirs? So you Google their name.
Okay.
You find their website. 8 out of 10 times there'll be a link at the bottom that says partner with us, partner with me, affiliate program, become a partner. Sure. The other 1 or 2 out of 10, go search for the name of the company, the name of the person, and then the word affiliate or partner. You'll find a backdoor page that they have that they maybe didn't advertise. You can sign up through that. If all else fails, email them and ask, do you have an affiliate program? Why, yes, we do. Okay, great. Then you think of, literally look at your open tabs on your computer or the tabs that you open regularly. What are the tools that you use? For instance, in our business, I mentioned earlier for social media, there's Meet Edgar. We use Edgar. Yeah. Okay. What do you use for your podcast? What do you use for what's on your, I'm literally looking right here. I can't pull it off because I'm actually balancing something on it right now for our video shoot, but I've got the Switch Pod by Pat Flynn. I mentioned the handheld. Yeah. That's what made me think of that was I'm looking around and all I see right now in my view are tripods and like the Switch Pod and all that stuff. Cause I'm, in the studio, and it's like, okay, what are the tools that you're using? Yeah. Physical or otherwise? What books are you reading? What books have you read? Like I could list 25 books like that.
That's a good point.
That have had an impact on my business or life. What are those things? What lighting kit do you use in your studio? What camera do you use? What computer what software do you use? if you just look around, you'll have 25 things you could promote in the next 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That's going to be no problem. Okay. So you're in the, you're dealing with creative. So again, what writing tools do you use? Do you use Focus at Will or Brain.fm? What are you using to focus? What are you using to, back up your files? Using Dropbox or I don't know what the other ones are. What are you using? What are the things that you're just using every single day? And then the easiest way for creatives to begin to monetize.
Yeah.
And I got to look this URL up because I think it's, and you can, I don't think we talked about this in advance. In fact, I know we didn't, but if you go to mattmcwilliams.com/resources page.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you right now, mattmcwilliams.com/resources page.
Right.
The easiest way to monetize your platform as a creative, as somebody who's building an online business, building a platform, is a resources page. And I've got a guide. It's the ultimate guide to creating a resources page, Brian. It just walks you through, okay, there's a lot more to it than you think. It's not just a list of links. It's not just here's my favorite tools. No, there's a process to how you optimize this page to get the most results. It is the easiest form of passive income, but also how many times as creatives do we have people, you're doing a podcast now and they just reach out and say, man, Brian, you sound so good on your podcast. What microphone do you use? Yep. Here's the thing. People look at you as the expert. That can be really hard for us sometimes, especially when we're first starting out. I've learned to get comfortable with this, but it took me about a decade. When I was first starting out and I had a little, small little list, 400 or 500 people, I was in the personal growth space. Those 400 or 500 people saw me as a Tony Robbins.
Exactly.
Tony Robbins at that time had a list of about 1 million people, and it was filling arenas for UPW. But to them, I was not much different than Tony Robbins. Why? Because I had written something or said something or recorded something that changed their life.
Yeah.
So it was impactful to them. So they're coming to me and saying, man, Matt, what do you do when you need to focus? What are you doing? How do you write? Your podcast sounds so good. What microphone do you use? What software do you use? And I'm like, wait a minute. This microphone is on Amazon for $70. 6% of $70 is $4.20. All I got to do is create. Why don't I just have a mattmcwilliams.com/ATR2100? And I can just easily tell them every time, here's the link. Here's the link. In fact, I got it to the point where my assistant can do it. And, we sold like 60 of those mics in 2 years. Now you go, ooh, $250 whole dollars. That's one thing.
Yeah, it's
one little thing that's not even that's not even close to being the core of my business.
It'll pay off some of your expenses
that I was going to answer anyway. What am I gonna do? Not reply to them or reply back and say, I'm not telling you?
Right.
No. And here's the thing. I created the affiliate link I grabbed the link from Amazon, created a pretty link using a free plugin on WordPress called Pretty Link. Which, by the way, you can find that on my resources page. It does that all the time.
Right.
And then the URL is easy to remember. It's mattmcwilliams.com/pretty-link. And so how do I remember what mattmcwilliams.com/ATR2100?
Okay.
Because it's easy.
Yeah.
And I can literally just be like, here you go. Boom, boom, boom. Super easy. And I mean, that's it. Like at its simplest form, all affiliate marketing is here's an awesome product. I just want to tell you about it.
Yeah.
It's no different. Brian, I did an event years ago, got up on stage, said everything I've said here. Affiliate marketing is amazing. It's, monetize before you get started. Oh, you should be thinking about it from day one. Here's how you get, blah, blah, blah. Your quick start guide. Like I had slides that walked them through the quick start guide, yada, yada, yada. Yeah. And I said, who here thinks that they can't do affiliate marketing? It's like, it was a smaller, 300-400 people.
Yeah.
About 30 hands went up. And I said, one lady, I said, stand up. I was like, tell me why you don't think you can do affiliate marketing. She said, so I said, come up here. So she came up and there were two little like chairs up there. And I said, tell me about tell me about your favorite restaurant. And she was like, what do you mean? I'm like, just tell me about your favorite restaurant. She starts telling, I'm like, okay. I said, so what's it like when you pull up to the restaurant? She's like, well, it's kind of in the, like the shady part of town, and
Yeah.
like you pull in, you have to go down an alley. And I'm like, okay, when you walk in, and she's like, well, everybody there, it's like Cheers. Everybody knows your name.
Right.
And he's like, tell me about the food. Oh my gosh, the food is unbelievable. Tell me about the service. She's like, okay, the service is the best. They're so nice. She said the other day we left without our doggy bag, and my waiter came running down. He went out the back door, came running down the alley, almost got hit by the car to give me my doggy bag. I'm like, that's how good their service is. She's like, I always leave like a 50% tip every time we go to this restaurant. And I'm like, okay, so what's your favorite item on the menu? And she's like, well, it's the whatever. It's like the barbecue sandwich, right? And she's like, well, let me just put it this way. She's like, it's the bun is crispy, but the meat's so juicy that like the inside's like, she's like, you bite. She's like, you can't. She's like, it's like Les Brown used to say about his mama's sweet potato pie. You can't eat with your shoes on, so you have room to wiggle your toes. Like, it's so good. Right. And she's telling me about this, and I go, by the way, never do this on stage at like 11:30 in the morning, right before lunch. But I go, who here wants to eat at that restaurant? Everything in the place went up. And I looked at her and I go, you just did affiliate marketing. You sold me on someone else's product.
Yeah.
That's all you did. You talked about this thing that meant so much to you.
Yeah.
And I went on to tell her, I said, here's the thing. I'll give you one more example, Brian, for anybody who's like, oh, I can't sell somebody else's stuff. I told her the story of my sophomore year in college. And I explained to her that affiliate marketing is nothing more than a butt sniffing monkey. I always love to look at people's faces when I say that. Like, well, now we're talking about butt sniffing monkey. How did we end up here? My sophomore year, we had discovered this thing called the internet. The University of Tennessee got a brand new T3 connection. Okay. Which meant that, like, we all go home, we're all on dial-up. I was 4 years from getting DSL at this point, right? Okay. When you could actually remember when a picture used to go like that. If it was like a big picture and you would watch, like, oh, here it comes. Here, we're down to the lips. Yeah. Yeah, picture's done. 2 minutes later, and DSL is like done. Right. It felt like it was like, oh my gosh, this is lightning fast. Now, like, we have like literally, I think ours is like a gig.
Now we're impatient when something gets anything close to being slow.
Yeah. Everything's just instant. Well, right. So we got this T3 line, which meant we could watch videos. Okay. Now they still needed like 10 seconds per maybe like 2 minutes to buffer. Right. But we had this video, very short video. It's like a 15-second video of a monkey in a tree. And the monkey is just standing there going, doing a monkey thing. And then he reaches behind him and scratches his butt. And then you remember the video, don't you?
I think so.
Yeah. Well, then he goes up and smells it and goes and falls out of the tree. Right. I'm 19 years old, right? I mean, it'd be funny today. I could go watch it right now and laugh hysterically. Well, but at 19. So what does that have to do with affiliate marketing? Well, as soon as we played that video, we didn't have email accounts. Most of us didn't. I certainly didn't know any of my friends' email addresses. We didn't email with each other, right? We saw each other and we, called. Yeah. And I don't even think we texted. Yeah, we didn't have cell phones at that point. But so the only way to get this thing to quote unquote go viral was to tell people. And so what would we do? We like went next door, knocked on the door, like, dude, come here. You got to see this video. And then we'd see, like, I lived in the athletic dorm, and it would be like, we see one of the guys go by, it'd be like, dude, Travis, come here, dude. Well, there were days we'd have like 12 people in our suite watching this video. Only 4 of us lived in there. We'd have like a football player, but it was like the, the baker, the candlestick maker, or whatever, whatever that thing was, they're in a boat together. Well, we've got like, football players, basketball players, students that don't even live in the athletic dorm, people that don't even go to the University of Tennessee are in our dorm room watching this video because we said, come here, you got to see this. And then they said, come here, you got to see this. Come here, you got to see this. That's all affiliate marketing is. Right. Is here's this thing, whatever course, physical product, idea, thought, tool, doesn't matter what it is. And then you just go, come here, you got to see this. At its simplest form, if you stick to that and have that kind of passion, with wanting to tell your audience, you're not being a burden on them. You're not selling them anything. You're just telling them, come here. You got to see this thing.
Love it. Love it. And I'm just trying to connect all the dots to what you're saying today. Is just like, if you're continuing to do that, not only are you conditioning your audience, but you're conditioning yourself to learn how to sell better in more often. Because I think a lot of people are just like, even me, I'm guilty of it, just like still a little shy about selling anything. Not just somebody else's products, but just any products, even your own. So doing that just not only should that have you, eases you in to offering things that are already established, but it kind of also conditions yourself to sell as well. What do you think about that?
Well, it does. Otherwise, Carrie Wilkerson uses the phrase information hoarding. Imagine. So my friend Alan, Alan Thomas from Start Mastermind.
Yeah.
He discovered a system he lost 125 pounds in less than a year, went from being morbidly obese for his whole adult life to in great shape. He discovered a system. If he doesn't share that with other people, that's information hoarding. If I know a tool that can save you, Brian, because social media is important to your business.
Yeah.
And I know a tool that for a reasonable price would save you 2 hours a week on social media to get better results. And I don't tell you about it, I've done you a disservice.
Yeah.
Right? If I don't tell you about a course that completely changed my life, like when I promoted Michael Hyatt's, before he became a client, I promoted his 5 Days to Your Best Year Ever course. If I didn't tell my audience about that, I'm doing them a disservice. Yeah. If you have the cure for cancer, if I had the cure for cancer, I would want the best salesperson in the entire world. I want the best PR person, the best salesperson, the best lobbyist, the best manufacturer. I want the best if I've got the cure for cancer. And I am not going to shy away from running ads. I'm not going to shy away from, hiring celebrity endorsers. I will do everything I can to get the word out. If I don't, we're talking a little bit different, but if I don't, that's life and death. Like somebody died because I was afraid to sell. Nobody's going to die if you don't sell the switch pod. Nobody's going to die if you don't tell them what microphone you use. But somebody out there is going, daggum it, I want to start a podcast. And this is and they think it's a 50-hour process. You and I both know you put a lot of hard work into your podcast, but it ain't that hard to start one.
Right.
From you don't need to have it perfect. You need a basic system. And all they want to freaking know is, here's why they're asking what microphone you're using, because they go to Amazon and there's 17 choices and they're paralyzed.
Yeah.
So I just want to buy the one that Brian uses because it's good enough.
Right.
And you know what? Could there be one better? Sure. Could there be a better course out there for a particular person than my course or Jeff Walker's course or Ryan Levesque's course? There could be. Yeah. There could be. I'm just going to tell you that I took the course and went from making about $100,000 a year to more than $1 million a year. That's all I can say. And so for me, that's dude, come here. You have to see this. Jeff's doing a free masterclass where he walks you through the system that helped me 10x my income. Come here. You got to see this. I took Michael's course last year and I paid more in taxes this year than I made last year. You can do the math on that. It's about a 4x increase in income. I made 4 times more money. The only thing I changed was taking his course. I just want to tell you about it.
Yeah. And I want to please clarify for the people that what you're saying is that, well, let me make sure this is right. Because everything that you said today was like things that you have experience with, the products that you have experience with, products that you've had a result with. So you're not saying to promote anything that maybe you haven't tested out, maybe?
Maybe.
No?
I'll give you an example. Ask me which car, which truck is the best truck. I don't know. I don't own a truck.
Right.
In fact, I drove an F-150 one time. Yeah. So to me, the best truck I've ever driven is a Ford F-150. Why? Because it's the only truck I've ever driven. And but you asked me which truck is the best. I don't know. Well, which truck should I get then? I don't know. But I can go do the research.
Yeah.
I can go to Consumer Reports.
Yeah.
I can go to JD Power and Associates. I can go to Car and Driver and I can find out which one's best. And I can make a recommendation based on your needs and budget and make a commission on that. part of it is where we're at as creatives, where you're at, Brian, is different than your audience. You could be 1 step ahead. You could be 7 steps ahead. Typically what will happen is you'll become more steps ahead as time goes on. I'm now multiple steps ahead of, my average audience member. In 2012, I was like 2 steps ahead.
Yeah.
So the other thing is you say, okay, well, you go, when I was at their stage, I used this tool. 2 things are true. Number 1, it's not the best. Number 2, it doesn't exist. Maybe, if I said, what email system did I use in 2012? Why would I recommend that just because I have experience? So what do? We look at products. Like I would never recommend recommending a course that you haven't at least, been through.
Oh yeah.
Unless here's the caveat.
Okay.
I had never been through Stu McLaren's tribe when I promoted it the very first time. It didn't exist.
Okay.
But I know Stu. And I know how he has built membership site after membership site after membership site, and how he has trained entrepreneurs and taught workshops and taught me and all these things, so that I could honestly say, never been through the course. It's a brand new course, but I am guaranteeing you there's nobody better on earth to teach you this stuff.
Makes sense.
Same with if an email tool, for example, came out. An email tool came out, and I don't use it. Why? Because it's more for beginners.
Yeah.
But I can honestly recommend it because I know the guy who founded the company. Yeah. And he gave me a quick tour he did a little 20-minute Zoom call with me, and it's legit. Yeah. Also, he sent me, he let me talk to 3 of his customers, and they all say it's amazing. And 2 of our mastermind members have been using it for a month and say it's amazing. Yeah. It's good. Okay. It's good. Okay. And so there are things that you can recommend, go to Amazon. And I mean, it's like my wife, her mom will be like, what crock pot do you recommend? And Tara's like, no. She goes to Amazon, searches crock pot, and goes, here, Mom, I found 2 of them that are rate 5 stars with more than 500 reviews. And her mom goes, thank you. I bought the first one. Right. She could have done the same freaking thing. Right. But what made Tara be able to authoritatively say, I recommend these 2 because they have 5-star reviews. Makes sense. So I don't recommend, don't be dishonest and don't say this is the course that worked for me if you've never taken the course. All right. You don't have to have used the product.
Gotcha. So I got 2 more questions. This is great stuff. 2 more questions. So what if you find the perfect product, right? You're all gung ho. You're excited. Everybody's doing exactly what you told them to do in this hour that we've talked about, and it completely bombs on your first try getting it out there, either to your email or to your followers or whatever. It just goes flat. Yeah. What then, Matt?
What
then?
So there's going to be a couple of reasons why.
Okay.
Number 1, it could be your marketing. Okay. Yeah. You need to look at that. What were your open rates and your click-through rates like? Were they higher or lower than your normal stuff? Oh, wow, I see. That email I sent, I sent 3 emails about it. That second email was terrible. I can't believe I even wrote that. What was I doing? Okay, so your marketing, you got to analyze that. Number 2, it could be their marketing. It could be that you're sending them to a webinar is the entry point. And quite frankly, their webinar sucks. It just doesn't convert very well. Yeah, that's something to consider. You heard back from people that said their customer service team never responded to them. That's not good. What's going on with that? So that's number 2. Number 3, it could be the price point. You might take, again, let's go back to the podcast mic. Right. And you promote a $300 podcast mic and nobody buys, but you promote a $100 podcast mic and 42 people buy. Right. Well, maybe it's just because they didn't have the $300. Right. It could be a budget thing. The reverse is true. You might promote a $100 thing and you sell 3, and you promote a $500 thing and you sell 4. Yeah. And you're like, well, it's only 1 more sale, but you literally 6x or 7x your income because it costs more. Right. So there's that. So those are the big things. I mean, the other thing to consider is climate. Launches in late October of this year did not perform very well. I don't know if you heard, but there was an election. So it was sucking up all the news.
The big launch.
Like a big launch, right? We're launching of the leader of the free world. That's all we're doing. Right. So it was sucking up a lot of things. Okay, what if you did it in March of this year when COVID, first hit? We did a big launch. We did everything right. We had the right affiliates. We had everything lined up. Like, it was perfect. We're expecting a $300,000 launch. We did $24,000. Why? Because we launched on the single worst possible day of the last 102 years. No, actually, you could literally go back to September 11th, 2011, would have been the only day in recent history that was even close to the word like this bad. The Great Recession had nothing on the day that COVID became a thing in the US.
Right.
When they shut down March Madness and the NBA and the NHL, that was when the whole world just went, wait, the whole country just went, wait, we're not doing anything. We're not gonna spend money because we just don't know. So you look at that and go, okay, was it our marketing? Nope. Was it anything? No. Did I burp on camera? Nope. It was timing. Could we have done anything differently? No, we planned it 5 months in advance.
Yeah.
So you just go, well, that didn't work. And you learn from it. You analyze it, you learn from it, you identify the core cause or causes. But every now and again, there's nothing. And you just go, you know what? That was just weird. I don't even know.
Yeah.
Maybe it was the subject matter. That's the other big one is, okay, well, I promoted a course on health and fitness and my audience doesn't really give a crap about that. So you need to find something that addresses those different causes and then try it again. And then if they're still not buying, it's probably just because they're not buying.
This might have been a great years to be writing a book about politics. I think anything political is probably what you should have been doing this year.
Yeah.
Maybe. So there's that. But great stuff, man. I have one last question, Matt. This is incredible so far. incredible stuff. I ask this of all of my guests. It goes simply like this. People hear what you're saying. They love your content. They love your approach. They have similar goals, interests, and paths that they want to take, just like you. They want to do the things that you're doing, Matt. Can you give them a few tricks of the trade or tidbits or whatever, small tips about how to become an authority in this space?
To become an authority in general requires you to do, and it sounds so kind of cliche, but I'll tell you a little bit about how I discovered this. It requires you to become, you have to live in the thing that is uniquely you. It's the thing that people are telling you is interesting about you or that you struggled with, but now you're good at. It's the, I always think, when I think of that, I think of like hardcore history, with Dan Carlin. He got into, he's not a historian. He says it repeatedly. I'm not a historian, but he has a #1 rated podcast on history by leaps and bounds on every podcast platform. Like when he releases a new episode, it is the #1 podcast on all of iTunes for like 48 hours.
Wow.
How did he get there? Because somebody said, man, it's so fascinating, Dan, when you tell stories about history. So you're like, oh, I can do something with that. So it's this thing that people say is interesting about you. It's the thing that you struggled with, but now you're good at. It's the thing that people always come to help, they come to you for help with.
Yeah.
So for me, what that meant was, how did I become an authority at affiliate marketing and become the affiliate guy? It's because for years, people, my friends, my mastermind buddies, clients, my wife said, Matt, you need to be the affiliate guy.
Yeah.
Affiliate marketing. I don't want to be the affiliate guy. I want to do personal growth because that's bigger. That's world changing stuff. I want to change the world. I can't do that teaching affiliate marketing, Brian. And I said that for years and years and years. The name of my podcast is The Affiliate Guy. The reason for that is it's a reminder to me that I said for almost a decade, I don't want to be the affiliate guy. Yeah. I had all the expertise. I had all the credentials. I'd been affiliate manager of the year so many times. It's not even funny. I'd worked with every client you can imagine, but I said, I don't want to teach this stuff. I don't want to be known as the affiliate guy. I want to be known as something bigger than that. But I started teaching affiliate marketing. And last year, it took me a long time to really kind of say, you know what, I can change the world doing this stuff. Like I can have an impact I can leave a legacy being the affiliate guy, because we all want to leave a legacy, whether we'll admit it or not.
Yeah.
I can leave a legacy. I can change the world. I can impact millions and millions of people. And this hit me last September. I helped a friend of mine teach her affiliates how to be better affiliates. That's all I did. I got on a few calls with her top ones and gave them some strategy. I did a couple of trainings. I posted in her Facebook group some tips. This is all stuff that I can do in my sleep.
Right.
Like I didn't say anything that I haven't said 500 times already. She went from $125,000 through affiliates to a $300,000 launch through affiliates.
Wow.
And about a week and a half later, she's in the parenting niche. About a week and a half later, I'm walking down the stairs from our kids' bedrooms downstairs, and we just had the most amazing bedtime. The kids were loving. We were all like hugging and kissing, and it was one of those bedtimes where you just go, golly, being a parent is the best thing in the world. Not one of those bedtimes you're like, I'm so glad the kids are asleep now. Admitting that's real. We all go through that. Like, I see why people drink, but I go down the stairs and our stairs turn, they do a little L shape and there's this open area there. And I stopped and it just hit me. I went, man, that was a good bedtime. Yeah. You know, what's even cooler. I don't know why this hit me. It was, I don't know why this hit me. I would argue it was a God thing. Yeah. I had this realization, this revelation and I had this picture. I could see it as clear. I could see it clearly. I could see it was like this weird, when you like flip cards really fast and it's like different things, but they're kind of similar, but I could see white couples and black couples and single moms and single dads and, all these different families of different sizes and varieties having the exact same experience that I just had with their parent, with their kids. Amazing. Having a peaceful bedtime, walking down the stairs going, man, being a parent's cool. Yeah. And it hit me in that moment. I went, that's happening to hundreds of people right now. Because I taught some people how to do affiliate marketing. Like, I know the numbers. Yeah. Tasha went from 5 sales to 42 sales. Heidi went from 0 sales to 31 sales. Some of her other top affiliates went from 20 sales to, 70 sales. Like, there were hundreds of families that night were having a peaceful, amazing experience. There are kids that know they are loved, parents that are glad that they have kids, families that are more united, chaos that's been calmed because I taught people affiliate marketing, because I finally embraced the role of being the affiliate guy. And so the lesson and what I would just tell people is it's like, whatever it is, it doesn't have to be some grandiose thing. It's the thing that you're uniquely gifted at. You're the blank guy. You're the blank gal, whatever that is. If you just go into that with everything you have and embrace that as your thing, you will change the world. Because the thing is, all I did was teach them affiliate marketing. They told those parents about this course. Those parents are now impacting their children and those children and their children's children and their children's children. And that's just from one group of people that I helped teach affiliate marketing to. Wow. These groups of people are all over the world. So that would be the lesson there that I would give to people.
I love it. That's perfect. That's perfect, Mac. Oh, this is great. I'm so glad you got on. We were able to get this together. I know it took a while for us to patch out the schedule. Your very tight schedule. And now I see it clearly now. Your blocks of time that got into one of those blocks. So I'm very grateful for that. We were able to. So please tell us, for people who will be listening later, where you want them to go to connect with you further.
Yeah, go to mattmcwilliams.com/quick start. Just one word, mattmcwilliams.com/quick start. It's the best place to get started. We'll get you that guide. You can download that. It's a free PDF that'll walk you through just step by step how to get started in affiliate marketing. Literally from no matter where you're at in your journey, it'll walk you through step by step from the beginning all the way through. We've got some templates in there, some actual things that show you exactly what to do, and some really cool stuff in that guide. So, that's the best place to start.
Great. Oh, awesome. Please go there. Trust me, you will not be disappointed. No. This is my mentor. I know what he does. I know, and secretly, I know what you've been doing for quite a while. I was on your list for so long.
Oh, wow.
Before we even connected. I knew that here's the deal. I'm not sure if I ever told you this, but I knew that whenever I was going to get into affiliate marketing, I knew that you were the guy who was going to show me that. So I stayed on that list. I stayed on there, and then I got to the list launch. So trust me, people who are thinking about your email list, trust me, it will work. They will stay on. People will stay on. They will eventually buy because it's in their intent to do so. So there it is. And look at this. He's my mentor now, and now he's on my podcast. That's how things connect. So great stuff, man. Great stuff. Before we get out of here, people remember theauthorityletter.com. Go there. Or text We Are Live at 44222 to join the list and help you build your platform. Have a complete video series that I'm mapping out there, email by email. So check that out. And hey, I have no more words. I'm glad I didn't have to say much today. So that was great. That was great. So I'm not sure if you have any last words before we get out of here, because we're good to go.
I will end with that. I'm sorry, I was messaging my next call.
Yeah.
I will end with that. Just fully lean into and embrace what makes you unique and able to. It's that thing. It's the thing that keeps you. It's the thing you wake up thinking about. It's the thing that you go to bed thinking about. It's the thing that you write notes about when you're in the bath, in the shower or whatever. I said earlier, look at your bookshelf and then go help people with that thing. Yeah. You'll have a greater impact than you could ever possibly imagine.
I love it. Thank you so much, Matt. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. We are out of here. Be blessed, everybody. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.
And that's a wrap for this episode of The Authority Project. Thanks so much for tuning in. And if you like what you heard, we want to hear from you. Subscribe, rate, and give an honest review. Share and tell your friends so they can hear too. And for even more authority building tactics, be sure to sign up at theauthorityletter.com. Get free weekly content and ongoing digital product giveaways to help you on your entrepreneurial journey. We certainly hope you got a key takeaway or maybe an aha moment from today's broadcast. Just remember, it's your authority. Build it, share it, and they will come. Until next time.